I don't know if he was jealous of Michael. I don't know if he needed the spotlight or what, but all of the shenanigans surrounding Jermaine kind of take away from the fact that this was a supremely talented singer, songwriter, and musician. And that he has no one but himself but to blame for that. On everybody, you're right on time for another ride on the groove line with your boy Chris Stevens. Hopefully you had a wonderful weekend. It's time for us to get busy with a new week. And today we're going to be talking about something Michael Jackson related. Of course, the Michael movie came out last weekend. No, I have not had a chance to see it. I'm going to try and get a chance to see it because finally payday is coming up this week. So I'm very much looking forward to paying some bills, and then I'm probably going to go hit the theaters this weekend to go see Michael. But I did want to talk about not a Michael Jackson solo in particular, but a song that he did with his brother Jermaine. I think you guys already know what I'm talking about. Talking about Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming, Too Good to Be True, which was released in December of 1984, exclusively on Arista Records. This was written by Michael Omartian, Bruce Sedano, who, of course, is Donna Summer's husband, and Jay Gruska. Now, the interesting thing about this record is it was supposed to be sort of like a resolution of this little sibling rivalry that Jermaine and Michael had at that particular point in time. And actually, it only served to deepen that sort of rivalry because Columbia Records didn't wanted to put it out. Arista Records wanted to put it out. Nobody could seem to come to an agreement which record label this song belonged on, even though it was on Jermaine's self-titled album. So it ended up being the B-side of Do What You Do. I do what you do when you did what you know the song. But yeah, that sunk that song like a stone, even though it did end up, becoming an R&B top 10 and a Grammy nominated song for best R&B duet. But this song could have been bigger if it had been released as a traditional single. But still, as it is one of those mid 80s up tempo joints that just it percolates. I'll never forget I read one of the reviews that said it's a percolating jam, and that's pretty much what it is. And when you listen to this song, gonna say it, you can tell why Michael was the voice of the Jackson Five and the Jacksons. Not to say that Jermaine Jackson couldn't sing and wasn't talented. I mean, the dude was an incredible bass player. If you've never seen this live version of Bass Odyssey that he plays, it's out of this world. But it's like what Cat Williams said: a 300 looks like a phantom until a phantom pull up. And Michael Jackson was the phantom of the Jackson family. And you get Jermaine, he comes in, real, with his typical voice. And then, there's the bridge that really tells you the difference. When Jermaine says, when the morning comes, wake me with your love. Tell me that I'm not dreaming. Here comes Mike. Tell me this is real. Show me how you feel. And it's like, yeah, there's a difference between the two brothers vocally. Absolutely. And it's not fair to say that this is a case of what Nas said about Jay on Eminem murdering Hove on his own stuff, but you pretty much could say that. You could. I mean, Michael Jackson, his vocals is undeniable. And again, Jermaine is not bad. Jermaine is not a terrible singer, but compared to Michael Jackson, he looked pretty damn ordinary on that song. And I think that's probably why that song ended up getting buried the way it did, because Lord knows, Jermaine, for all his worth, he does have this sort of egocentricity about him as a musician. And and I don't blame him. I mean, he was Berry Gordy's chosen one. I mean, he married Berry Gordy's daughter. And when Joe Jackson said, we getting the bleep out of here in reference to Motown, Jermaine said, no, I'm staying here in Motown. I got a solo deal waiting for me. And Jermaine put out some good records. We're not going to pretend like he didn't. Like, my favorite Jermaine record is You Like Me, Don't You? That song that's another one of those Tony Brown Quiet Storm classics. From the moment we met, Jermaine, he used to do some really good music, but he gets sort of left out of the equation because of his lack of, shall we say, sexual discipline. we'll just put it lightly. Allegedly, linking up with a 20-year-old Whitney Houston, marrying Randy's wife and having kids with her. And, just I don't know. I don't know if he was jealous of Michael. I don't know if he needed the spotlight or what, but all of the shenanigans surrounding Jermaine kind of take away from the fact that this was a supremely talented singer, songwriter, and musician. And that he has no one but himself but to blame for that. But All that aside, Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming, Too Good to Be True is a wonderful, wonderful record. It's one of those ones where you can pinpoint a shift in tonality and sound in music 1984 85 when it stopped being a mixture of live instrumentation and synths and drum machines to exclusively synth and drum machines for pop music. Like 84 85 is kind of like that line of demarcation where it's like, okay, 80 to 83 84 is when you can still kind of sort of hear, a live guitar, a live bass, a live drum, or the horns and the strings. After 85, everything was just like keys, drum machines. That's just how the industry went. That's how a lot of bands sunk like rocks. But what is your opinion of Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming Too Good to Be True? Do you remember the song? Love to know your memories of it. If you have not heard it, go listen to it. Come back and let us know what you think. And of course, that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line on this Monday. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you're notified of all the new videos that drop on this channel. And don't forget to like and comment on these videos because as you know by now, your boy talks back in the comments. So thank you guys for riding with me on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, let's have a good week, y'all. May you find the groove or may the groove find you.